Decided to take a walk today in the neighborhood where I'm building my house, just to show you around more, let you see why out of all the places in Greece that I know, I've decided to choose this one. It's a steep uphill, so bear with me. I like old things, old furniture, old houses, and old landscapes. And this is certainly an old landscape. Everywhere you look, there is evidence of the mines that were functioning here from ancient times, throughout history, all the way until 1986. And today we're going to take a little bit of a better look at those mines and learn a bit more about them. This area is mostly pine forest. Pines are attached to the god Dionysos. The Greek wine Retsina gets its characteristic taste from the resin from these pine trees, which has been used since ancient times. And Dionysos, or Dionysus in English, was all about wine. Pine trees are beautiful, but they're particularly dry in the summer. And unfortunately, the reason you see all the hillside bare in the background is because pine trees are particularly susceptible to forest fires here in Greece. It's almost easier to go up this hill backwards. It's so steep. My old car won't even make it up this one without sliding. But it's worth the climb when you get up and see all this beautiful valley and the Aegean Sea in the background. The highway from Athens to Lavrio was created in 2004 during the Athens Olympics. It's quite a ways from here. You can't hear it, you can't see it. And that means that this beautiful valley will just stay pristine as it is. I've taken a few photos of various houses that have been renovated and some that haven't in my village, just to give you a general idea of what the place looks like. If you like old things, this is the place for you. Okay. This one is actually used by a television show as the location of a cafe in a period piece that they do. I'm glad to see the gates open. From what I understand, this is public property, and it is perfectly legal to take walks here. Today is December 14th, so it's a bit chilly, not very, but a little bit cloudy. But you can imagine in the summer, this pine grove is a beautiful, cool, refreshing place to come in the heat of the day. Here's one of the many mine shafts. This one has a fence in front of it. Many of them are just hanging open. And there are clubs that go into them. I can't wait to join them and do some exploration. But I wouldn't do it alone, obviously. So this is what much of the earth underneath my area looks like. And apparently, this is particularly good for earthquakes. It's active area. There are daily tremors. You don't feel them, but you can read about them. And once in a while, they're big ones. And apparently these fissures, these old mine shafts, serve as a buffer. And that's why most of the older stone houses, despite having any kind of steel structure, are standing and are in beautiful shape. There's an information board here, and I'm photographing this more so I can read it at my leisure at home. But I'm glad to see that they're welcoming people to walk around in this area, despite any real security measures. Greece. It's one thing I love about it. Okay, so I read the boards at home, and the translation was pretty bad. Bad enough to remind me of one in Corinth that referred to the area as being stoned and boned. This is new, or at least new to me. It doesn't say the year it was put here, but the reason that they've put galvanized steel lining in the trash bins are to prevent forest fires, which really are an enormous problem here. And up there in the distance is a second shaft, very close to the first one I just showed you. Let's go have a look. The mines cover an area of over 120 square kilometers and go down at least 100 meters. I've seen local explorers of the mines quote some of the galleries being at 300 meters down. The deepest galleries are now flooded with water, and only specialist divers could ever go in there. And only 2 people, I believe, have ever actually documented the deepest caves. During the 4th and 5th centuries BC, the classical era, thousands of slaves participated in bringing mostly silver and lead up from these mines. An additional 265 other types of minerals have been identified, and there is a mineral and chemical museum at Lavrio featuring all of the different metals and minerals that have been retrieved from these mines. These wild onions are dug up and given to friends and family during the new year for good luck for the year. In ancient times, onions were always associated with fertility because they were observed to sprout even in dry storage. There's plenty of wild rosemary in this area. Sort of counterintuitive, but in Greece, the growing season is in the winter. And I don't have to go all the way around, and I can find my way up to my house on this little path here. Here's a good example. So in the summer, this is a very dry and very spiky bush, but you can see in the winter, the new growth comes through. Here's some wild sage. I always pick some for my Christmas turkey, but this isn't large enough to take any from. I'll find a larger bush and get some. Really don't know where this goat path goes to. I'm hoping there's a break in the fence. Otherwise I'm gonna have to walk all the way around. No such luck. It's an olive tree that probably doesn't belong to anybody. The olives are still on it. It's late in the season. My house is just up that way, but I didn't find a way through the geological park, so I'm going back around. But everywhere you look in this area, there are big piles of earth that have been taken out of the shafts. This would be a great place to explore if you're a little kid. This is what I was talking about. There are all kinds of these shafts that don't have anything to prevent you from going in to explore. And just up there is my house. But I can't quite see it from here. I'm not high enough. I've always been pretty fascinated by caves. So I'm looking forward to the time when I can come here with a proper group, helmets, bright lights, and do some exploration. Here's some wild fennel everywhere in Greece. This used to be the main street to get to Lavrio, but 2 much more efficient, larger dual carriageways have been created. So now it just serves the village, which is nice because my house is right on the street, but Hardly a car ever comes by all day. Just a typical Wednesday morning. Many of the old stone houses from the 1900s have been restored in this area. That hill in the distance was burned down just a couple summers ago. But the good news is, this one that burned about 10 years ago is well on its way to reforestation. Nature's an amazing thing. It recovers. So I had to go around, and now I'm on another road that I do know goes up to my house. And I've taken my hair down because it's a little bit chilly. So I'll meet you at the house. Here's my house with a cat sleeping in it. Oh, that's sad. It looks like the oak tree I planted and was doing so well for 3 years has died. This is probably what my row of houses would have looked like before the addition was put on in the 60s. So I had a short visit at the house, and I need to get going because my bow is in a bit.